Now at noon, 2 shootings near the border between Portland and Gresham sent 2 people to the hospital. Why police think they're connected. Plus.
And in Vancouver, Evergreen Public Schools classified workers have rallied all morning for a new contract. We'll tell you what they're looking for.
And hundreds of people are lined up to eat at Washington's first InNOut location. Coming up, we'll talk to those who were first in line.
Also later here at noon, local lawmakers push back on a letter from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi that threatened action if Oregon and Washington didn't repeal their sanctuary laws. Why both state governors say they're not backing down. KGW News at noon starts right now. A group of Evergreen School District workers in Vancouver, including paraeducators, mechanics, and bus drivers, rallying today for a new contract. They say a strike is still possible with the start of the new school year right around the corner. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Drew Carney. We saw dozens of workers gathered outside district headquarters this morning as bargaining between the two sides continues. KGW's Thomas Schultz has been there since before this rally started. So Thomas, clearly a lot of workers are still there with you this afternoon.
Yeah, Drew, look, we're 3.5 hours into this thing and workers are still here behind us. Now, you can hear them, they're loud, there's a lot of horns as cars are driving by. These are para-educators, maintenance workers, bus drivers, all looking for a deal that they deem fair. Wednesday morning, workers in Evergreen Public Schools picked up signs and circled district headquarters in hopes of a better contract.
And unfortunately, our contract is about to expire and we still have not reached a tentative agreement with the district, which unfortunately is the history with them.
Union member Rachel Rice says para-educators, bus drivers, and other workers have bargained with the district for a new deal since March. They've had more than a dozen bargaining sessions and are pushing for safer working conditions and higher wages.
We work with a lot of, unfortunately, dysregulated and behavior students, and so a lot of times we're getting injured and employees are having to go on workers' comp.
As a para, my soul is full, but my bank account tells a different story.
People are passionate about the work they do, but they can't afford to keep doing this job.
Union President Mindy Troffer Cooper says these negotiations will be different than last time, when workers spent 6 months working without a contract. Evergreen Public Schools sent us a statement saying they are looking forward to coming to an agreement, hopefully sooner rather than later. Though they add Evergreen has significant budget challenges, and all of our financial decisions need to be made to support the overall financial health of our district. Still, workers,
can you hear us clear in there?
Want action now.
We're either ready to go back to school or we're ready to hit the picket lines.
So you heard them, either back to school or back to the picket lines. Now, those negotiations are expected to last all day today between the union and the district. Tomorrow, union members will vote on whether they want to ratify a new contract or strike. If they choose to strike, that'll happen right away. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz with this developing story for us in Vancouver. Yep, crew members gathered outside the state of Washington's first InNOut location this morning to say, welcome to Ridgefield. And then they opened the doors to a ton of waiting customers. People started lining up in their cars outside that new Ridgefield spot last night to make sure they were among the first to get some burgers and fries this morning. KGW's Corey Johnson has been there all morning long, talking to customers, talking to employees. So Corey, how's that line looking right now?
Oh my goodness, Drew, the lines are long right now. More than 100 cars filled with people lined up to try InNOut right now in Ridgefield. Now, we did speak to some of those people who were first in line today, early this morning, who wanted to beat this rush. Long before the sun rose this morning, people lined up in their cars to be among the first customers of Ridgefield's InNOut new location.
I got here about 8:16 last night.
Dozens of people from far and wide camped out on sidewalks, in chairs, and in their cars outside, including Kevin Ken, the very first person in line.
I drove about 2 hours out of the Seattle-Milton area. It's the only one in Washington State, and I'm born and raised Washingtonian, so I figured I'd call out for work for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
For hours, traffic control organized the crowds while the Wells family tells KGW they were creating a core memory and picking out their favorite menu items.
My husband and the kids came by about 9 o'clock to do a little recon mission, and he saw that it was open, so we ended up being fourth in line.
The new location on Pioneer Street is fulfilling orders and helping the community's job market.
We have about 90 associates here working at this location. About 70 of them are from the local community, and actually we're not done hiring. We'll continue to hire after this.
2, 3.
Store leaders opened the new location 2 hours ahead of schedule this morning for what some say was a worthwhile experience.
I'm like 15 minutes away now, so, call it great. But yeah, first to-go order from inside.
Accomplished. Proud of myself, and I'm about to go smack the rest of this down.
Now, Drew, we counted the cars that you see in line right now, more than 120 and counting. People keep coming into the parking lot. Now, what we did learn from traffic officials is that the traffic is confined to this particular property, so there can't be congestion that builds up outside of this property if you want to come to InNOut. What they plan to do is if more people start to come and there's not enough room, they're going to turn new customers away, but let them know that they can come back later if they would like to enjoy an InNOut burger once the lines die down just a little bit. And it's definitely worth the wait because I tried an InNOut burger for the very first time today.
Wow.
Happy to report that I really loved it. Chef's kiss, very good.
I was going to ask you got the shirt, but did you get the burger? The answer is obviously a smiling yes.
I sure did.
Good job, Corey Johnson, for us today out in Ridgefield. All right, a break from the news headlines for just a moment here. We're going to check in with Rod Hill, who has not had an InNOut burger today, but he does have your forecast.
Yeah, Drew, to me it looks like they are handling that parking. Remember that was part of the story we had on Sunrise yesterday. They said they had like 2.5 miles worth of spots in a lot.
And we thought, they're joking. They're nuts. They're kidding. No,
that's what I thought.
It's actually working out.
Yeah, so good for them. All right, let's get you to the weather. Our big story, if you haven't heard yet, our next heat wave is knocking on the door. The Weather Service came out with the extreme heat watch yesterday. By this time tomorrow, they probably will have upgraded this to a heat warning. It's for the same area of our last heat wave. Down near Cottage Grove, straight up I-5 through Portland, Vancouver, up into Kelso, Longview, in the gorge out to Hood River. And again, like last time, we're looking for temperatures anywhere from 96 in the valley to as hot as about 102. Again, that starts on Friday. But tomorrow, you'll notice we start to warm up toward that heat wave. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Had some clouds this morning, but all of the coast cameras now look perfectly clear and just a beautiful day. 65 degrees, could be some 70-degree numbers, just up to 70 at the beach maybe this afternoon. Portland, beautiful, mostly sunny skies. 72 is pretty much where we were at this time yesterday. Yesterday we hit 82 for high. I've got us at 83 today, 77 at 8 o'clock. Now this is the last somewhat normal day for over a week. Again, we start to see the rising temperatures tomorrow. That's in my 7-day coming up, Drew.
All right, Rod, we will check back in with you in a few minutes. Right now, we want to take a look at some of this afternoon's national headlines. We start with this. The Trump administration is expanding its 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum. The expansion impacts more than 400 additional product categories, including things like machinery, construction materials, and specialty chemicals that either contain or are contained in aluminum or steel. Police in Florida arrested a man who is accused of crashing his drone carrying drugs into a home outside Tampa. The man was actually caught on surveillance video asking the home's owners for his drone back, but instead the owners called 911 and wound up turning over the drone and several bags of meth and fentanyl to police. Hurricane Erin is bringing dangerous weather conditions to the East Coast. It's not expected to make landfall, but forecasters say Erin will still bring heavy rain and life-threatening surf and rip currents to the East Coast, the Bahamas, and Bermuda over the next several days. And last headline here, the state of Washington's crime lab matched the DNA of Travis Decker, and only Travis Decker, to the DNA found on items that were used to kill his 3 young daughters. Deputies say this is further evidence that Decker is the only suspect in their murders. The girls' bodies were found in June near a campsite west of Leavenworth. Decker still on the loose, despite a nearly 3-month manhunt. And that's a look at some of today's national headlines. All right, take a look at this surveillance video. It shows the moments a car, right there, my goodness, crashes into that business, This happened this morning in the Goose Hollow neighborhood of southwest Portland. It happened right over near 17th and Jefferson. Portland Fire told us the driver that crashed into the tree got trapped between the seat and the door of their car. Firefighters had to cut the roof off of that car just to get the driver out. The driver was later taken to the hospital. Both Portland and Gresham police are investigating two connected shootings that left 2 people hospitalized last night. Officers first responded around 6 o'clock to reports of gunfire between 2 vehicles near Northeast 167th and Gleason. Then about 40 minutes later, the same group met up about a half-mile away, and there was another shooting. Police confirmed 2 people were taken to the hospital, but so far there's no word on any suspects or any arrests. Providence says the hospital in Seaside will stop providing birth-related services, including labor and delivery, starting on October 4th. The hospital says a drop in the number of births, along with staffing challenges, led to this decision. But it also wants to be clear that the hospital in Seaside is not closing altogether. Providence also says families in that area can still access maternity care at Columbia Memorial Hospital in Astoria and the Astoria Birthing Center. Portland's first ever homeless village for people living in RVs is shutting down next month. Since the Sunderland RV Safe Park opened up a couple of years ago, about 160 people have stayed there. The shutdown comes after City Council voted to stop funding the site after September 30th. The people we talked to say if they don't have all the paperwork for their vehicles like registration and insurance, they'll be towed to a city storage lot.
It was really unfair, and it made us feel kind of like tricked, because when we came in here, we were never told we were risk losing our place. We were told we would get help getting a real place.
The city says it's working with the county to get everyone at the RV park into some sort of housing or transferred to other shelters.